MovieWeb.com.
So you put your film on demand so the prison inmates could see it.
Exactly. It's
Yes.
all for the prison inmates. No, what's funny is that my 13-year-old daughter said to me, you just don't know what's cool. Because I was standing in the kitchen saying, why would it be on television before it's in the theaters? Why do I not know what this means? And she said, that's how they do it now, Mom. That gets people talking about it, And it occurred to me after I started to receive some really nice emails, and certainly these are people who know me and friends of mine, and they weren't going to say, your film's a piece of crap, but they said, hey, I saw your movie on, VOD. And I thought maybe there's something about the subject matter that allows people to feel more comfortable viewing it in their own home, where they're not concerned with, should I be laughing out loud at this? Should I be gasping here? Should I be as quiet and unsettled as I am right now? Or, it might just be a more private experience. So we'll see. Magnolia knows what they're doing.
Oh, Magnet knows what they're doing too.
Yeah,
I mean, every
please.
film I've seen from them has been great.
Right?
But now I want to ask you, how challenging was it to sort of orchestrate this whole through line of like the flashbacks and what's going on in the present? Because it's pretty creatively done to the fact that I never figured out what was going on until the very end of the movie.
God, love you. It was very tricky in the writing, but a good puzzle. And I think that once I had several meetings with the DP, Peter Vunstorf, and it was very important to me that I shoot each perspective with a different film stock. So I was able to separate then the child's memory from the drug addict's memory from the cop's memory. And then I had an overall view. So those 4 film stocks allowed me to sort of separate that footage into different things. And knowing that I was going to be shooting in order really helped. So it was, no trickier, I think, than cooking a 5-course meal. But, we don't do that every day because it isn't easy. It's just a pleasure in a different way.
And now here's a question you may not have gotten before, but I need to know, why the Tinman in the background? And was that like an old family heirloom? Because
I love that you saw that.
My girlfriend's grandmother has one of the exact same things
Really?
in her house, and that may have been why I noticed it, but I just wanted to know why it was there.
It came from the prop master who had seen one in a small police station. And these are big in Regina, Saskatchewan. I guess it's sort of one of those crafty things people make. And that was one of the interrogations takes place in the cop's lounge. And I just thought that was one of the weirdest looking things I'd ever seen. So I thought that guy's got to be in there. He's another witness.
They're creepy, aren't they?
They're totally creepy. You kidding? It's like Warhol, but not Warhol. It's soup cans, but, all wrong.
Well, I was going to say, with that, this kind of edges into horror genre territory a little bit, especially with the masks. And I'm wondering, can you talk about putting those elements into the film to make it a little bit more a heightened, horrifying experience?
Yeah, I think that because we're dealing with serial killers, it occurred to me that people who hurt people, more often than not, have been hurt themselves. And it's that cycle. It's not like we are really rehabilitating people, When people make a choice or are unable to make any other choice but the one they make after they've been hurt, and that's how we're born. And these masks, to me, they sort of represented the monsters that hurt each of these characters as they were, younger, and yet now they're able to, having found each other, these 2 serial killers, are able to sort of tie in that place where sex and violence got terribly confused, and, if you will, in the worst way, make the most of it.
And like you said, you said your daughter said you weren't cool, but looking at these masks, we've got to say these are going to be sort of iconic come down the line a couple of years from now. I've seen a lot of the horror movies that are coming out now, and they always talk about how hard it is to get the masks and this look perfect, and you sort of nailed it with this.
Well, I just wanted to sort of have it be something that to me was distorted and looked as though 2 people might have applied it to each other in an erotic and sort of lost state. And so that sloppiness and that haphazardness of almost burn victim, that emotional burn victim, is what came out.
Okay, and then last question I have to ask about the cast is like French Stewart and Cheri Oteri. I know you've talked about this before, but they're so different than anything I've ever seen them before that, like with French, I was just like, this guy is awesome and this could open up a million doors for him opposed to what he's done in the past. And I'm wondering, what made you put them in the film in the first place?
You know, again, I was saying earlier, I think that it's my experience that comedians are some of the darkest and sometimes saddest people in the world. They've seen an awful lot, which is why they can laugh about it. And they're often quite scared, but highly evolved in their fear. So it occurred to me that each of them was incredibly talented, wanted to do more with their careers, and nobody would see that performance coming if I were to cast these two people. And each of them, I mean, gave me 110%, you know, every day, just they're really, really interested in going somewhere they'd never been before.